Hey guys, it's Jaden, and we're back. Quarantine has sucked. Living in this space. I mean, good things have happened while I've been in quarantine, but I feel like I've been watching a lot of television, and I just don't talk about a lot of television that I've been watching on my channel. But so this is basically like best things I've watched during quarantine, essentially. And we've been in quarantine at this point since March. It's obviously, I believe, like August 15th, 16th, something like that. So basically, I wrote down a list. It's not really in any particular order, just some of the good things that I watch. But, precursor, I typically am very choosy when it comes to television I watch. I really only like to watch things that I really expect to be good. Like, it's very hard for me to get in and watch something that you have to be in the mood to watch it. And if I'm not in the mood to watch it, then I'm not gonna watch it. And most of that comes with movies because I'm very weird with movies because I don't want to sit down and waste my time for 2.5 hours. With a TV show, it's different because you can easily just be like, ooh, okay, well, I don't like this episode. Let me go do something else, basically. But with a movie, I guess you can do the same thing, but it's a mental thing for me, so I just don't. And it doesn't work out as a whole for me. So we'll just get down the list, starting with The Good Place. The Good Place ended this year. I have to say, it was 10 out of 10 television. Just the series finale as a whole really stuck with me, and it really had this whole theme of you can be a good person. It takes a lot to be a good person, but it's not that hard and nobody's unredeemable. And I think that's a lesson that I think that we all can really take into our daily lives, is that even though if you're feeling down and out, you are mostly a good person. Everyone is mostly a good person. Everyone can strive to be better. No one is inherently bad or anything like that. And there's always work to be done. And that's kind of what I was taking from that show. But when I say The Good Place was fun, it just was good. It was good to see everybody basically get their happy endings and move on. And it was good. It had to be good. Next up, we're talking about The Magicians. You already know how I feel about The Magicians. I have a video somewhere about that. I did a whole series about that. I love The Magicians. I have nothing else to say really. It's just great. I love the characters. I love the idea that the fourth season, well, not really completely like the fourth season, that it dealt with so much grief. But once they pushed past that just a little bit, they were pedal to the metal when it came to let me stuff this episode full of stuff. And I'm just where was all of this beforehand? I don't know. It seemed a little, I guess give people enough time to breathe, but come on, you could do better. But I love the show, hands down, 10 out of 10, would recommend, great time. Next up, Legendary. Again, another show that I've actually talked about on my channel before is, I love Legendary. I just thought getting into talking about ballroom and queer culture and stuff like that, something that doesn't get represented, because even though we do have things such as Drag Race or The Married Show or We're Here, stuff like that, it's very different to have a competition really based on a lot of things that have influenced queer culture as a whole. That's just it. It's just really good. It's really fun. You fall in love with the groups, you fall in love with the teams, you fall in love with everybody. It's really fun. You think La Roche is a hater, but then you're are you? Yeah. So love Legendary on HBO Max. There couldn't be a list if I didn't talk about Insecure. Insecure this season really had us hating, and I know I spit, hating Molly, because it was really just girl, step off, take a break, Take a break. Seriously, she needed to step it down. We all hated her, but shout out to Yvonne Orji for doing that, because she did that. She really got us hating Molly, and you know what? She got Emmy nominations for it. Shout out to Insecure and their Emmy nominations. It's a great opportunity to really talk about toxic friendships, or that friendships are just as important as relationships. are some of the most important relationships that you'll ever have in your life. And, you know, breakups and ups and downs and misconfusion and all that, it's very important. I would say Insecure is one of the shows that taught me about like the ego, about your ego being so high that you can't humble yourself to just accept and continue to keep on going. It's the one show that really like made a big change in my life. I think around 2018, 2017, 2018. That's literally when I was like, okay, what am I doing wrong? What's happening in my life? I need to sit there and take a step back, reevaluate, because I don't want to be Daniel. I don't want to be out here hating outside the club when you can't even get in, basically. Like, that's, and my life changed for it. So, like, honestly, it works. Another good show, Never Have I Ever on Netflix. Never Have I Ever was something I didn't really want to watch like right when it came out, but people just kept saying it was so good, and I was just sitting here one day and I was like, all right, well, I'll watch it, and it was so nice. I love seeing shows that show like diversity between like other cultures, because as you can see, I'm a black person. A black man, but like at the end of the day, it's like I love seeing like representation of other types of cultures, and I love seeing them get their shine also. So like to see like basically a bunch of Dixie kids and an individual like get their shine and have this wonderful young actress lead this entire show. It was just so fun. I mean, like, it was good storytelling, good plot development. Like, who's she gonna end up with? Like, oh my god. Like, I can't remember this kid's name, but either the kid that was her rival the entire time, or like the kid that she basically fake dated sort of for a little bit. I mean, like, I don't know. I really want her to end up with I think his name was Benjamin, like, period. Like, at least you know he respects her, a little afraid of her, but like respects her. But yeah, oh my god. Just, you love to see it. Never Have I Ever. Next up, we have Indian Matchmaker. Ironically, I watched both Never Have I Ever and Indian Matchmaker in the same day. I guess I was just in a theme of watching something, and let me tell you, Indian Matchmaker is a show that is crazy. There's this girl named Aparna. She is ridiculous, and honestly, I'm trying not to paint her as the villain, but like, she's very controlling, and I think she really needs therapy, because like, you have to watch a show to understand how crazy this woman is. Auntie is out here trying to help her find a man, and she just won't accept the help. Like what is going on, Aparna? Would love a season 2 of that, because I think it was just so much fun, and it's a great conversation also about another like cultural means of like, it's not really arranged marriage or something like that, but like, it's just using a matchmaker. I don't know. I think that's something that I think a lot of Western culture really goes against. And I think for years, even now, like, a lot of people who live in America or Western culture really look at arranged or matchmaking services as like, oh my God, why? And I'm like, honestly, I feel like, honestly, in 2020, I have been stripped away of all of that colonial, imperialistic, American bullcrap, because like, when I say that, I say like, these thoughts and a lot of these influences that I had initially had prior to like 2020 have kind of just gone away. You start to realize as you become like an adult, like, half the crap that you learn in school about like colonizers and imperialism, it's really crappy to think like, wow, y'all really went to someone else's house and told them, nah, this is my house now, and change the rules. And it's like, there was nothing wrong with that. Like, there's a way of respectfully sharing your culture if you wanted to sit there and do that, but it just, we're not getting into like imperialism and colonialism, but like, it just really makes you think like a lot of those ways that we looked at different cultures, or we were taught about different cultures in school, and those experiences were wrong. And I was never one of those kids to make fun of other people, but at the same time, I'm just like, I'm very empathetic. It's just really sad that it takes so long for people's cultures to really be recognized, and for people to really be proud of like the things that make them different. But anyway, I digress. Next up, I'm talking about On My Block. I am a On My Block stan. I will literally keep talking about the show forever because like it's a show where it's a comedy, it's a drama, it's got interesting writing. I mean, there's this one character. I think her name is Jessica. I can't remember because I can't remember, but I think her name is Jessica, and she is amazing, right? She's just so funny. You don't realize like how important she is really to the group. And like you're like the first 2 seasons, you're like, I don't know, you're kind of annoying. But then you start realizing like this girl is talented. This girl deserves love. This girl deserves everything that the world can offer her. And that's all I want for her is the world, right? That's all I want for her. But On My Block like ends on this great little cliffhanger, a little teaser, and I think it's very important to talk about like, because people you start out with aren't always people at the end with you. So like it's gonna be very interesting to see where their seasons go. Netflix better not cancel it because like, period, you know, like no, don't be canceling it. Shout out to Spooky. Shout out to Spooky. That's all I gotta say. Shout out to Spooky because shout out to Spooky. Next up, going a little new, came out a couple weeks ago, Umbrella Academy. I just think this is a good show. Also, the words sunny have been stuck in my head. If you've been watching the TikToks, I mean, like, I've listened to that song like 5 or 6 times in the past 2 days alone. Like, it's just like serotonin in a song. Like, we love to see it, truly, honestly. Umbrella Academy really delving into the sibling relationships, but like superhero relationships. It was based on a comic written by I believe the lead singer of My Chemical Romance, and hey, period, great, love it. Who do we stand in Umbrella Academy? I'm gonna go with, if Diego would get over his hero complex of things, we could stand Diego, but we have to stand the growth that that Miss Allison Hargraves has had. Growth. I mean, it was just so good. I enjoyed the entire, such a good season. It was kind of a mystery and drama. I mean, you have to watch it. It's on Netflix. Next up, we're talking about something from the year, I believe, 2001. Star Trek Enterprise, yes. I think it's kind of known that I'm a Trekkie. I stopped making my Trek videos because I was like, I didn't feel like I had the authority or the conversation to really make a really impactful statement on the Star Trek universe and stuff like that. I was like, oh, this seems like really difficult to get into. But now at this point, I have a friend who like really got me into all of it a little bit, which it was a surprise one for him to be like, oh yeah, I love it. I love it. I mean, like, what? I was literally sitting there just like, what do you mean? Like, I've known this person for so long, and it's like a new personality trait, like right there. It was just really surprising how much they were really into Star Trek. But like Enterprise, I just loved it for the reason of like, the theme song was kind of stupid at first, but by the end of like season 1, season 2, I mean, like, that pop ballad, very Michael Bolton-esque, it had me going, no skip intro. Like, it was a no skip intro for me, hands down. But, like, it just was fun. It was really good to, like, see exactly where the Federation started. And as a person who's been waiting for Star Trek Discovery for basically a year and a half, and supposed to be right now we're at 23 weeks of track, I'm doing Star Trek Discovery whenever it comes out, but, like, where is it? That's all I want to say. Just made me so mad just thinking about it. But yeah, Star Trek Enterprise, it's great. It just was wonderful. I think it's also like old enough, but like modern enough that I can actually like watch it fully. That's kind of my issue with a lot of the 90s Star Trek shows, because it's like they're a little too old, that they kind of just go through like problems for no reason. Like, I'm like, what is the overarching A plot? Like, can we just get back to that? Like, their B plot and C plot stories are just magnanimous. Like DS9 and Voyager. I had to stop watching Voyager. Anyway, not the point. I just couldn't get into Voyager. I actually, that's a lie. I got into Voyager, but then I was just like, what is the point of this? Y'all aren't gonna get home anytime soon. So I Googled exactly how they got home, and I was like, oh, I'm never watching this again. Just saying. Next up, The Good Wife. And The Good Fight. So I started watching The Good Fight first because it was on CBS All Access as I was waiting for Star Trek Discovery. But it wasn't coming out anytime soon, so I was like, all right, let's watch The Good Wife, I guess. And I don't know what I was craving, but I was craving like a strong woman-led show, and what I got was amazingness with The Good Wife. I mean, it was also fun to watch basically all the characters that you know and love from The Good Fight basically get like their introductions and where they started in like in The Good Wife. And it was wonderful. We love the kids. Peter is trash. Alicia Florrick is wonderful. I mean, like, you have to love her. And like, it's kind of based in reality when it comes to like their politics, just a little bit, but like twisted slightly, but it's great. And it's something that I truly cannot recommend enough. It's I think it's like 7 seasons of a show. It was wild that I watched all this in June. Yeah, in June. But I loved it. I loved Alicia Florrick. I loved everything about it. Alicia Florrick is an icon in her own right. I mean, I have to stand her. Like, she's an icon in her own right. I love that show. You can find that, I believe, on Amazon Prime, CBS All Access. I mean, it's out there. I think it's also on Netflix. Oof. Next up, I'm gonna have to put Madam Secretary on this list. I recently just finished Madam Secretary, and I watched this because like after The Good Wife, I was really craving like that still strong woman-led show, and I didn't know what to watch because I was just sitting there. I would like sit on Netflix for 2 hours and just be scrolling, not knowing what to click. I know what I did with my voice. Anyway, I am just clicking Madam Secretary. I was like, oh well, whatever. Wow, what a game changer, what a show. I love a good like political thriller show. Not thriller, more of a political drama. Like a scandal, but not too like elevated in terms of like craziness, but like more grounded in realism. That is what I got out of that. It reminded me of The Good Wife, but like it like translated over to like a different genre. Like it just was like ball to the walls. Like it was crazy, period. Great, wonderful. You love to see it. Also shouts to Dimitri and Stevie. Anyway, obviously, like everybody else, I've been watching Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I've been watching Legend of Korra. I think that pitting them together or against each other is essentially like a horrible thing because they're two different stories, two different avatars, two different experiences. But I will say, like, you start taking each one for what they're really meant to be and what they really talk about. It's game changing. Also, Korrasami, and I don't care about spoiling the show because if you haven't seen it by now, that's not my fault. Korrasami is something that like I realized was there budding in season 3 that, wow. I'll be honest, season 2 is trash. And it's not because, no, it is. It's just really slow. It's just trash. And also, Unorthodox just like pisses me off. But like, season 3, season 4 of Korra, like, I don't know. I think I like Korra a little bit better than Avatar: The Last Airbender. So anyway, shout out to both of these series. Like, they're just good series. You can find them on Netflix and CBS All Access. I mean, like, whoa, great stuff. When I say it, great. There's this great little limited series on Netflix called Unorthodox. It actually got nominated for an Emmy or 2. And when I tell you, I watched this in one night and was just like, oh my God, I was about it. It was like half in Yiddish, half in English, half or a third in German. I don't know. It was a lot. It was really good though. I just thought like it was really fun. It also made me like really want to go to Berlin, but then I thought I'm trapped in a cage, so I can't really go anywhere. But it's so, I don't know even how to explain it. It's about like this young girl who's a Hasidic Jew. Orthodox Jew, and she basically runs away to go basically find her mom, and then when she finds her mom, it's like, shocker. She runs away from her community, finds her mom, and is like, oh my God, so she ends up doing something else and finding a group of friends, and it was heart-wrenching, right? Like, I wish it had more talk. I wish people talked more about Unorthodox. It was just so good. Next up, I'm gonna talk about Upload. I watched the same weekend as Unorthodox, but like, I have videos for both of these things, right? And they just didn't work out. If I have to film something a third time, I'm not gonna do it. Like, it was just too much. For these people who are YouTubers and stuff like that, who their full-time job is YouTube, go off for you. But for me, I have a full-time job. Like, I need to go to bed. What are you doing? Like, I can't just be out here just refilming a thing after. Oh no, then edit. Oh no. But on Upload, great series about from one of the creators of The Office. It's about basically, it's on Amazon Prime, basically about the afterlife and like moving someone's conscious to the afterlife, just the shenanigans that go about, and you kind of get into the mystery of like where everything is and why the world is the way it is at that point in time, and you really learn a lot about the protagonist. You fall in love with Illa. I think her name's Illa. I mean, it was just fun. I love it. It was comedy gold. It was hilarious. If you like The Office, I think you'd actually like Upload. If you like Parks and Rec, I think you'd really love Upload. It was just fun. It's like, I think 10 episodes. So yeah. Next up, Hollywood. I had a video for this, and I just couldn't do it because I was just like, it's basically revisionist history, but it's nominated for a bunch of Emmys. But at the same time, I think Hollywood loves a good revisionist history. They love a period piece. They love old, glamorous 1920s, 1930s, or what were they in? 1940s Hollywood. They love that, right? They love it. But I will say, like, it does make you think, like, if things were to change a little bit earlier in life, earlier in time, where the progress would be. Like, of everybody, essentially, like, where would we be if we were giving 20 to 30 to 40 years extra of progress to really focus on? I don't know. That's just something that I take from that. I think it's a really good show. I think, like, even though it's revisionist history and it's kind of a limited series, it's worth its guts, right? And I did learn about the transatlantic accent, which I think is stupid, but I get why it happened. Next up, Gentefied. Gentefied is a show I waited 4 years for. I waited 4 years for this show. I was in college in my like Hispanic media class, and I remember presenting a project about this show because I had a trailer. And then guess what? It didn't come out till 2020. What's 4 years? Like, what's going on? That made me so mad. But I was like, happy the show's here. I believe it got renewed for a second season. It's on Netflix. It was a show just about like just a wonderful Hispanic community and about like them going through gentrification. That's pretty much it. We love to see it. That's the gist of it. Next up, we're gonna hit up The Circle. Honestly, The Circle was just fun. I think we all went through The Circle together, but like it was just fun. Yeah, I have nothing else to say about it. Totally would audition. Yeah, it's message like it fun. Digimon Adventure 2020. I can't speak this enough. I'm a big fan of Digimon. And at first, I'll be honest, I wasn't really a big fan of like Digimon 01 and Digimon 02, but like as I've grown up, I've started to realize like the nostalgia value for those. So when Digimon Tri happened, which was like basically like 6 different movies that were just detailing like the Digimon 01 guys in 2003, I think. It was just it was a banger. And Digimon Kazuna was supposed to come out this year, but that was delayed. Literally a week before like everything went into lockdown. I was just so mad. Like, I'm not getting this movie until October. So, yeah. So Digimon Adventure 2020 is basically revisiting and retelling Digimon 01's adventures, but in 2020. And we have more of an understanding of what the internet looks like now and what it is. So it's more digital. It's just an infusion of what a lot of the Digimon games now look like, with what a lot of the storytelling, a little bit of the storytelling from Digimon 01 were. And it's really good. It's truly good. I think it's only on 7 or 8 episodes. Yeah, it's fun beyond belief. Another recent series that I've been watching was Wizards. Tales of Arcadia Wizards. I can't stand this enough, but Wizards or Tales of Arcadia, they're really good. Like anything in Tales of Arcadia, it's basically Guillermo del Toro. I don't know why I mess up with his voice, but Guillermo del Toro, basically, like that's his series on Netflix. It's an animation. It takes place in 3 different parts. You have Troll Hunters focusing on the trolls. You have Three Below focusing on the aliens, and then you have Wizards, which focuses on the wizards. And they're gonna have a movie next year. It was just really fun. I can't stand the show enough. It's just good animation, good quality content, good shows, good vibes. Next up, I'm gonna put these two kind of together because I think that they're kind of, for me, they were really close together. Stargirl and Doom Patrol. Doom Patrol, as I'm like, oh my god, like I thought this show was gonna be really stupid, and it actually worked out and was like a great show talking about like mental health and about like forgiveness and grief and like living your life. And then Stargirl kind of doing the same thing just a little bit, but about like really focusing on building that next generation. And I think out of all the DC TV shows, Stargirl has the most unique voice. It looks completely different. Obviously, I think it's in a different universe than a lot of like Flash and all them, but like it just has a very different voice. Its different voice is very like, you know how like Legend of Tomorrow is different, but like it's kind of like that, but like Stargirl. I don't know. Really good. Girl empowerment. We love to see it. Great storytelling. Ooh, I mean, wow. Hi guys, editing Jaden here. I forgot to mention this, and it's so funny that I did because it was at the top of my list, but somehow I just skipped over and just kept on going. But I cannot not talk about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I mean, this show, I'm mad I didn't like just review the entire show, the entire season, because it was just that good. It was just fun. There was a lot of time travel. They brought in somebody from Agent Carter, brought in Susan from Agent Carter, and it was just nice to see like everyone's like inclusion. And I think like in terms of like seasons, this is easily one of their best seasons, and easily could talk about this for days, but I'm not going to. But I just want to point out one thing, that with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., it has a really weird place because, like, I'll be honest, that first season didn't really rock with it too much. But when it hit that second season or third season, whenever basically Winter Soldier came out and it switched up everything, that is what truly changed Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for the better. And then after that, they just started trying more and more unique things to really separate it from, like, the whole, like, MCU. And even though like Marvel TV was its own separate thing, which I think honestly to some extent kind of hurt everything, but I think they did the best they could with what they had, and I just cannot say enough. Like, this show is so good. This season was easily the best. For sure, they got renewed for its final season. Like, I think it did an impeccable job at wrapping up everything and giving everybody like the ending that they deserve and everything that happened for a reason. It was just really good. That's all. I forgot to mention it. Notable mentions before I like get off the camera and stop talking. Episodes of Drag Race, because there were some good episodes. Shout out to Jade Essence Hall. Shout out to Shea Coulee. There was Tiger King. I'm gonna say that because like when we started learning after Tiger King documentary came out, and the Carol Baskin killed her husband Lacton. Basically happened. Like, there is nothing you can't tell me that she didn't kill her husband. 1 and 2. You just start learning a lot about like the tiger industry and you start really focusing on it. It's like, was this excellent television, or are we just amused by like country white people? Like, is that what was happening? I don't know. But there's always that question. So I'm gonna go with Tiger King. Was a very interesting show. It wasn't one of my best. I also said for the Aaron Hernandez documentary because, and I guess they're both documentaries, so I kind of have to say this, but like documentaries are framed a very particular way for you to like or dislike the subject or have that understanding. And I think the way the Aaron Hernandez documentary was framed was like, oh, okay, this is a lot of evidence against him. But then there's also the conversation of like, I think a lot more people have CTE, and there has to be a way to be able to like know CTE without like basically someone dying and them cutting their brain open, Altered Carbon is on this list mainly because it was okay. It wasn't like great. It wasn't like as hard hitting as the first season, but it was okay. I would say the same thing about How to Get Away with Murder, because I was just watching that so I could finish the show. And when I got to that series finale, period, I mean, Viola what? Viola Miss Wap Davis was out here, and we have to stand her. She was just so much more confident for herself and like into herself, and like everything about her happened. And everyone who deserved what they deserved got what they deserved. Sadly, who got to be alone deserved to be alone, because, you know, like, them kids were so selfish. They didn't realize that Annalise was out here trying to protect them. And anyways, I did also watch some Westworld. I got into Westworld this whole entire season. Really excited to see where they go with the next season. I watched all of it. I think season 1 was the best. Season 2 was interesting. Season 3 was like, oh, wow, what a difference, what a change, right? In terms of movies, I'll be honest, I watched The Old Guard. Hands down, would recommend, 10 out of 10. Extraction, again, Netflix is hitting it off with these movies. Haven't watched Power Pill or Power Project, whatever it is, Project Pill. Haven't watched that again, but really excited to watch that, probably today or tomorrow. And Hamilton, because you're not throwing away my shot, and you're not about to have me singing these dang songs and not be able to see a musical. So yeah, anyway, this is some of my favorite quarantine television I've endured. Yes, I realize this is from March to August. I know it sounds like a lot, but yeah, that's basically what I've been doing. Thank y'all so much for watching. Let me know in the comments, what have you been watching in terms of your quarantine television? How are you feeling? And if you like this different aesthetic, I like the natural lighting. I was watching somebody, they said natural light. I was like, okay, let's do it. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Have a wonderful day. Bye.